Being Guatemalan is more than having a nationality. It's having a quality. We are distinguished by our strength, by our combativeness, our being the best of the best. We are considered unique human beings who rise against any adversity. Even though today violence and poverty have erased our smiles away, we do not give up, because that's the way we are. For this reason, in 2011, Guatemaltecos Mejoremos Guatemala set out a route that may lead us to a better country. A road that will help us find the smile of our people once more. It is an ambitious route with the goal of reducing poverty to less than 35% for 2021. This is an optimist, but believe it or not, it is a possible goal. The GMG development model is based on the construction of a Guatemala that is more prosperous, has more solidarity, and is safer, through higher economic growth based on the creation of formal employments. Other models refer to the distribution of what has not been created or to bet for less productive options that are close to the global markets. Our model bets for entrepreneurship, recognizing the responsibility we have towards the rest of the society through social investment, but mostly betting on the ability of Guatemalans. The main problem is that historically, our rhythm of economic growth is too slow. We advance through small steps towards prosperity. If we keep on advancing this way, Guatemala will need 60 years to reach its goal. For this reason, we do not want to take shortcuts that may lead us to dead ends. We want to announce that we must take the Guatemalan route for the Guatemalan people. But how will we do it? What will we do to keep on going and reach our goal in a shorter period? Simple. By using a mean of transport, employment, jobs, giving Guatemala more opportunities through job creation. We could say that quality employment is our bicycle, the transportation mean that will help us progress faster. In this race, the important thing for the Guatemala team is not who arrives first, but how fast we can all reach the goal and prosperity. And why do we need to manufacture more bicycles? To reach the country's goals, and especially our social goals. Every year, our population increases, and increases, and increases. And the young population is the largest segment of the pyramid. Today, 70% of our population is represented by the young. 140,000 young people enter the workforce. Of these, only 20,000 have a dignified, formal employment, or are self-employed. 115,000 have informal jobs, and the 5,000 left stay unemployed. If employment is our transportation mean, this means that only 20,000 people get a bicycle that has the conditions necessary to reach the goal. 115,000 ride damaged bicycles, and 5,000 still walk, slowing down the complete group. We place our bet on working bicycles, that is, quality and formal employment. Creating quality employment means that people should have access to social security, training, and especially should pay taxes. Those jobs without these qualities could be compared with damaged bicycles. That will never allow Guatemala to reach the goal. The solution is not to trim the bicycles, but to fix the damaged ones and to create more in conditions to advance. There are 3 conditions that turn a work source into a job that generates income that contributes to reduce poverty in the country. 1. The worker generates enough income to improve his abilities. 2. The worker generates enough income to guarantee a dignified lifestyle when he reaches old age. 3. The worker generates income to the government over the resources he consumes. With a higher level of employment, a multiplying effect will be generated that will allow the citizens to have more and better services and at the same time direct resources to those who need them the most through government policies. In conclusion, quality employment is the only transportation mean that will help us reach our goal, and if the method by which employment is directed is not modified in the next 10 years, 1,200,000 people walking or riding damaged bicycles will accompany the 5.1 million people who have informal jobs. We need good bicycles. The solution is to create more quality employment. How can we improve labor conditions in Guatemala? To have all our bicycles ride towards the goal. Along with job generation, we must work with those people who will ride the bicycles, since many of them do not have the best aptitudes for the race. For example, almost half of the people who will have the possibility of having a bicycle have disadvantages from their childhood, since 49% of children 5 years or younger in Guatemala suffer chronic malnutrition. This does not allow them in their adulthood to have enough energy to move the bicycle, and it makes it difficult in their learning to ride it. Children who have been properly nourished reach between 20 and 40% of a higher education level than those children who were undernourished during the first 3 years of their lives. This is an X-ray of an undernourished nursing baby. We can see how brain cells cannot make all the essential connections for its development. On the other hand, we have an X-ray of a normal nursing baby. We can see how all the brain cells could make all the connections. Without the proper food and nutrition during the first 5 years, children show growth delays and a low intellectual development, which condemns them to a permanent and irreversible damage. Even if nutrition is more associated with health issues, nutritional deprivation during early childhood and school years has irreversible repercussions, with an impact on the individual during his life cycle as well as on society in general. This problem causes a greater vulnerability to disease, poor school performance, which in the future could be translated into lower productivity of the human resource and therefore a lower income. This would lead to the repetition in the next generation of the poverty situation that surely was the main cause of undernourishment. Education is another main factor that influences our cyclers' performance. We must focus on the trainers of those who will ride the bicycles, teachers, since they teach the basic knowledge of how to ride. The quality of an education system is limited by the teacher quality. Only 40% of the teachers approve with a grade higher than 60 points in mathematics and reading tests. We cannot be surprised that only 7% of young people approve mathematics and 24% approve reading. If an effective education process is not provided during the childhood and teen years, the options to choose a dignified employment or income are reduced. Good education and nourishment will help us reach faster and more easily our goal. Job generation, a better education, and nourishment will help people have a good bicycle and the necessary physical conditions to move forward. But we must remember that we will travel faster if we work as a team. While some have to take care and educate those who will ride the bicycles, others have to build the roads for our routes and make the road easier to ride. That is, we must eliminate holes and obstacles that waste our time. Construction creates new opportunities, since the roads we have today are not enough for everyone. We must generate employment in the whole country, creating new development zones in the rural areas that include basic services and the development of markets and stores. Strategic urbanization process will allow the improvement of the competitive conditions on the rural areas of the country, thus helping Guatemala to advance as a whole to the goal. One way to improve this process is to take advantage of the collaboration outlines between the public and the private sectors, for example, public-private alliances. On the road we travel, we must also improve our safety, not only the real safety, but also the perception of lack of safety. The main focus should be on prevention. We must invest on the safety in the country, providing more resources to the Ministry of the Interior and give a better training to the new police officers. Once again, Guatemala holds the last position on the indicator that measures the perception of costs associated to crime and violence of the World Economic Forum. Costs associated to crime and violence are the highest in Central America, $2,387 million per year, approximately 8% of GDP. This seriously affects bicycle riders. If violence and crime and its associated costs increase, they will have as a consequence low-quality employments. Safety and job generation in the country will tear down obstacles and repair holes on the road to prosperity, and will help us travel without further delays. In this race, we all participate as Team Guatemala. We all have chores to do, those who are already riding as well as those who are about to step into the race. The only way to advance is as a team, to avoid leaving anyone behind. If we build bicycles and have bad roads, it will not work out. If we have good roads and defective bicycles, we will not arrive in time. If we have good roads, good bicycles, and bad riders, the effort will not be worth it. We have a lot of work to do.